Hey guys, what's going on? It's day 4 of my feelings and Minecraft. So, honestly, you know, doing this has been very helpful, and I like to see what you guys are going through and talk to you guys. But at the same time, it's also been a lot because I don't normally talk about my feelings, as you guys could probably guess. So, it's been a new thing for me to do in general. And honestly, sometimes I just kind of question what do I even really want to talk about? Like, obviously, I don't really want to tell you guys everything, but at the same time, I'm also here to talk about what's going on in life. So it kind of leaves me just guessing. I guess today, so far, and yesterday after I made the video, I've been okay. It's been kind of weird with friendship issues, like I said, kind of a bit last video. And this is, it's always dramatic with uh, with people I care about apparently, and that's just annoying in general. I guess I don't like there to be so much drama as there always is, but that seems to be like unavoidable at this point, and it just always is happening. And so it's just super annoying that it has to constantly happen. I guess if that makes sense. Now, I do think for the most part the you know the issues I've had recently have just felt so unavoidable. Like, it just always feels like these are issues that are just going to happen, and there's nothing I can really do about it. Which, I don't like that. I don't like having issues that are just unavoidable, if that makes sense. Personally, I don't like conflict. I like to stay away from it for as most, as most as I can, as much as I can, because it's not fun. No one wins when it comes to fighting and arguing, and it's just it's hard to understand people as is. It's way more difficult to understand people when they're already super angry, if that makes sense. Now, I am curious how you guys are doing, like always. Like I said before, you guys can always, comment what your thoughts are and comment how you guys are doing. I do like to, read what's going on. I think, as far as we're gonna actually do this for, I'm just gonna keep doing it. Like, there's nothing really to lose out of doing this for the most part. I mean, I do know coming up here I'm not going to be able to do it for a week, because I'm going to be gone in April, like the 4th to the 9th, or 4th to the 10th, or whatever. So I'm not sure, about a lot of things, I guess. But I do like to do this for the most part. And I hope you guys somewhat enjoy it as well. I know a lot of you guys probably, for the most part, just like to watch this just to hear someone else talk about life issues and not, always be reminded of your own, which is fine. I think as far as how today's, actually been going realistically, it's been fine. Like I said, I didn't like having to deal with all these issues with my friendships, but it kind of just is what it is. I think the most annoying part of everything is just constantly being reminded of life and always feeling like I'm failing at something. And you guys know I don't like feeling like I'm failing, and I always kind of do. And that's just never fun. I don't think that's fun for anyone, really speaking. I know for a fact you guys probably do not enjoy um, feeling like a failure. I know I certainly don't appreciate feeling like a failure all the time. But that's just kind of how life is, and it's annoying for sure. Don't get me wrong. But it just kind of is what it is. I think end of the day, it just kind of comes down to that. Um, and it just kind of, like I said before, always sucks to feel like I'm alone in everything. I think this week I've been really hard focused on my YouTube channel. Uh, Honestly, because it just feels like as long as that does good, I feel better about a lot of things in life. And I know that's not necessarily like a great thing to be, like, oh, as long as this is doing good, I'm doing good. But it's just kind of how I've felt. As long as this does good, I feel okay. But the second, I feel like this is failing, or I feel like my channel's failing, or I feel like I'm failing, I just kind of slip back into a not great mindset. And I don't think, that's useful to anyone, really. I'll be so honest. But it just kind of sucks. Now, I will say, I, um, I think my biggest issue has been, as far as, like, understanding stuff-wise, um, has always just been, like, I don't know what people are always thinking, if that makes sense. And I'm not a fan of not knowing. We know we talked about this last time too, but it's never fun for me to always not know what's happening in life. At least for the most part. And I think you guys can, also probably relate to that, because life is not fun for anyone when it's unknown, when everything's unknown. If that makes sense. It just kind of is a lot. And, obviously, like I've said a lot of times, to let me know how you guys, are feeling in the comments. And I do mean it. Like, I do want to care for you guys. Obviously, because I know what it's like to feel like no one cares. I know it's very miserable. And I don't like to be miserable. I know I don't want other people to feel like they're be miserable. So if you guys are going through anything, just always let me know down in the comments, because I do want to be there, and I do want to, care as much as I can, at least. And obviously, life, we don't get to always pick and choose who's in our life, but when we can, or whenever there's, the option to kind of get a choice, it's always good to try to find someone who's in your corner. Not even necessarily me, but just someone in general. Like, I know that's something I've always struggled with, is getting the right people into my corner, and who are going to actually care for me and fight for me, and not just use me. And that's very miserable, is when you feel like you're being used by someone who you thought cared about you. Like, trust me, I don't really think there's anything more miserable. I mean, there is, but that just takes the cake for me. I was like, top 10 miserable things to happen is to have someone who's supposed to, care, just not care. Like, trust me, I know for a fact that that's not fun whatsoever. And it definitely sucks. Like, it sucks a lot. And, I do realize that a lot of people, they go through the same thing all the time, where they feel like they're not good enough. And that's just miserable. Like, that really is just not fun at all. Like, I do get that. Um, at the same time, I also understand that life, it could always be worse. And I don't like saying that, because I know that it gets worse. I know it can get worse. I've had it get worse. It's not fun when it gets worse. It really isn't. But it does happen. I don't like when it happens. I know you guys probably don't like when life, gets worse. Especially when it feels like it gets worse for, like, no reason. I think that for sure really, really drives me mad. Especially when you feel like when it's getting better and then it really isn't. I know for sure that upsets me a lot. I would imagine it upsets you guys a lot too. Because it's just upsetting. Like, no one likes to have that happen. And it just always seems like it does. And it just kind of always sucks. And, once again, like I said before, this always feels like the 10 minutes flies by. I think we're actually already a little bit over 10 minutes. Which, it's fine. It is what it is. But the sun is setting. And, 10 minutes a day is all we do. It's all we give. So, that's going to be it for day number 4. I guess I will see you guys on day number 5. And kind of funny that it's a rainy day, because that's kind of just how my emotions have been recently. But let me know how you guys are doing down below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.